Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Libations number 161. I'm your host, Jake Green. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the world of comedy with a professional comedian who I'll introduce here in just a minute.
Adam Nutter.
Adam Nutter is not coming on this show. We're also going to be touching on this most recent deluge of Epstein information, as well as the enormous market dips across all sectors. Joining me to tackle all this are regulars Nick Ciesielski and Zane Placie. Fellas, what are y'all drinking tonight?
I've got the Yellowstone bourbon again, and I'm going to keep having it until this bottle's gone. So for another week or so on that.
I like that a lot. Zane, what do you got?
It's called Bluegrass Sundown, but it's like coffee chocolate liqueur that they sell someplace in Kentucky, and you mix it with hot water and a heavy cream.
Dude, okay. I'm on board with that. I've got my usual Ardbeg Wee Beastie. And our guest for tonight, everyone, is a professional stand-up comedian. We're going to watch a little clip of his before we bring him on. So here we go.
Dodging along, I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed it. It was no anxiety, no nothing. I'm like, I'm totally going to do this again. And in the middle of it, I said, Danny, tell this woman she's doing a great job. Tell her she's doing a good job. And then I'm like, my social anxiety kicks in. I'm like, how do I tell this woman in a dark room who's rubbing my body without being a creep? So I do what I do in every social situation I have in my life. I rehearse what I'm going to say to you in my head 50 times. And then hopefully it matches what comes out of this dumb face, right? So in my head, I go, she's massaging away, and I go, Danny, just say, thank you, that feels great. Thank you, that feels great. Great job, that feels great. And what came out was, oh, I like that.
I like it a lot. All right, y'all. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Danny Johnson. Danny, how you doing tonight, man?
I got no volume. I got nothing. I got no volume. I can't hear you.
Oh no. Did you lose us? Uh-oh. Might be having some technical difficulties. Maybe just take the headphones out. Let's see if that works. Yeah.
Because we can hear you.
Let's try it without headphones.
Let's do it. Can you hear us yet? Maybe not. Technical difficulties, y'all.
Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yep. I cannot hear you. What in the heavens name's going on? Look at this. I'm ruining the show already, and I've been on for 15 seconds.
Technology.
I already had to go through the pain of watching a clip of myself. That's painful. Let me tell you that right now. We'll just do the whole show like this. Let me get my lip reading friend over, and we can go from there.
Chat,
yeah, I don't know. You might have to put me backstage.
Yes, I'm going to boot you, and then you come back.
Yeah, I think he said we're going to get rid of you because you're terrible, and then we're going to bring you back. When we
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. All right. Hopefully Danny will come back here pretty quickly. But
this is odd because we were just fine before the show started.
Dude, everything was wild, man. Everything was working just fine, and then when we came back in, he was no longer there.
Contrary to popular belief, we do always check that the setup works before we go live.
This is true. Yeah. I can understand why most people wouldn't believe we'd actually do that.
So the challenges with StreamYard, and everyone's on a different computer in a different place and different setups.
This one's on StreamYard. This is not on us, and it's not on Danny. That is for sure. Everything was working just fine, and StreamYard does some weird stuff, man. It drives me crazy. All right, let's bring him back in and see if we can hear him, or he can hear us.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
There we go. How about that?
We go.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's all good, man. It happens. This StreamYard software has some kinks that they need to work out.
We were talking right before this too. We heard each other just fine.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
My joke broke your audio.
Well, man. First off, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming on. Can you tell the folks out there a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You guys have a platform, and I'm sure you have guests here and there, but to allow me to come on, I appreciate it. But yeah, I've been doing comedy a couple decades now. I'm based out of Florida. I grew up in New York, and clean comedy. And I have 2 comedy specials, 2 dozen commercials under my belt, a little Comedy Central spot many, many moons ago. And I just tour now. I tour and do a little bit of voiceover, still some acting, but my 2 specials, one was with Dry Bar. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that company, Dry Bar.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
So I did mine in 2019, and they already have a built-in platform, right? Built-in followers, so it got a lot of views, especially during the pandemic. So much so that they licensed it to Amazon, Apple, and Peacock, so it's on there now. And then it wasn't until just past January that I did my own special on YouTube, which is really nerve-wracking, like because I have a fan base, but not Dry Bar's fan base, right? So I'm really like putting myself out there, and so I did it in Marietta near one of you guys, and Honest Fox Media, they're a social media marketing agency, produced it. They work with Jim Gaffigan, Leanne Morgan, and some others.
Wow.
And then I kind of just put it out with their name on it, and it's doing. I think we're just hit month 4, and I'm at 185,000 views, which for me,
Heck yeah.
it was funny because I did a celebratory social media post, like 100,000 views, a big old celebration. And then I'm doom scrolling shortly after that. And Jim Gaffigan had put a special out all about whiskey because he has his own whiskey. And he was thanking his fans for 1 million views the first day.
That'll humble you real quick.
Yeah, I was like, should I take mine down or
No, man, you got to celebrate those victories. I
Yeah.
was stoked the first time one of our like shows or reels hit 100K. Like that was a phenomenal day. It wasn't this show, but it was another one of my shows.
Have you ever had one hit 0? And and then you find out it's flagged. Did you find out it was flagged for something?
Well, we've had a bunch of strikes on this show particularly. So we've had a bunch of episodes get taken down over the years.
We're not good at filtering.
No.
We're not good at not saying the words that you're not supposed to say if you don't want to get a strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was part of the reason in my special. So one of the bits I do is it talks a little bit about METH, the drug, right?
Yeah.
And I actually do spell it out in my special because when I posted a clip of it prior to the special being released, it came back 0 views.
Wow.
So they must have flagged when I said the actual word.
How crazy.
It wasn't the special. It was like me tuning up for the special, like a clip from another club or whatever. And 0 views for like days. And I'm like, my family had to stumble across this. Someone had to.
So I actually thought that was part of the joke because the premise, not to explain to the audience your own joke, but the premise is that you're like buying Sudafed and the lady at the counter is like, you can make METH with this. And I thought that was like you really hamming up how like tiptoeing around it she was. Like I thought that's what she actually said. I did not think at all that you just said that to like get around the YouTube censor.
If that sounds smarter, then I did it intentionally.
No, honestly, I thought that too. It had that vibe that she didn't want to say it in the store as well. So like I thought it was intentional. But the fact that they're gonna flag or take down or shadow ban a video that says meth is insane.
Right.
Because
it's wild because it's so strict the way they do it. It's just like this keyword and it doesn't have any context to what you're saying. You know, saying it in a joke isn't saying, hey, look at me do meth.
And I'm sure it's AI, right? I'm sure it's automated system that flags it. It's not a person. I'm sure it's.
No, I don't think there's 600,000 people watching, the 10 million hours of
the
videos.
mouse just staring at the no.
Well, man, so you said you've been doing comedy for a couple decades now. How did you get your start and like what drew you to comedy? Because that is something that thinking about it makes me sweat so much.
For sure. And I'm terrified of public speaking to this day, which is odd. I told the audience this the other night. I was doing a show and I was opening up for an acquaintance at a big theater, and I said, I have social anxiety. I have a fear of public speaking, crowds. I don't like crowds, traffic, large groups of people, and people staring at me, all of which is required for me to be successful. So I said, as a matter of fact, if you can all just turn around and face the back of the room, that's great. But I think growing up in New York with a really large, really loud family, if you weren't being roasted, then you were not part of the family. Like it was constant ribbing and good-natured fun and impersonating other relatives. So kind of parlaying that and being the oldest of all the kids too, like constantly battling for attention as I get older, because there's more and more of us in this family drawing attention away from me. I found the power of laughter, and I have very funny uncles, and my grandfather was very funny. And I just realized the power of, especially making an adult laugh as a teenager or a kid, like a real laugh, not like a fake. You're like, oh, I have some power here, I guess, subconsciously, not, in real time. But that parlayed into me like really digging Saturday Night Live, and then the late night TV shows and stand up. And I did my first gig at 18 years old with a buddy of mine. We did a comedy duo on Long Island, and then I didn't do it until after college when I transferred to Florida to finish college, and because I was terrified. But I keep notes and stuff, and then maybe not coincidentally, but lucky enough, I moved and finally got planted in northeast Florida, and right down the road from one of the best comedy clubs in Florida. And they had this like workshop, like, you want to be a comedian? And I'm like, I have all these notes, these notebooks full of ideas. I go, I sign up. You can't teach someone to be funny, but you can teach them joke structure, maybe like microphone mechanics on stage and how to be an MC. So I learned all that, became a house MC, and then did that for like 3 years. And back then clubs were open Tuesday through Saturday. So I had a lot of work,
Yeah.
And I would do like 1 or 2 weeks a month at this club. And then all the comics I met that liked me would take me on the road for them, and they would bump me up to the middle slot because they were headlining, and then I would bring an MC. I would bring a newer person. And I just kind of progressed from there.
That's amazing. Mic etiquette and like how to handle a mic is such a crucial thing. I deal a lot with live production stuff, and people really don't understand how to use a microphone most of the time. And during your special, you had a lot of sound effects that you did, which are also extremely hard to do for somebody who doesn't know how to handle a mic. So can you talk a little bit about when you started implementing sound effects, if you've been doing that the whole time or anything like that?
I'll have to go back and watch it and what I'm doing. What I'm doing. I don't know. So I've always been able to do the whistle. I think I do the whistle a couple times. I think it just helps me animate the story. It helps me. It's almost the same. I don't know if you're giving me a compliment or not, but it's almost the same compliment I get from the audience members. Like, your facial expressions are so funny. Can you do that face that you make during the joke about the massage? And I'm like, I don't know what face you see my face. I don't see my face.
Yes.
I don't know what face I'm making. So it's all just an extension of my personality and me trying to get the frustration out of me wanting to talk about this topic, whatever it might be. So if it helps me get a laugh, if it's the only laugh in the joke, I won't do it. If I realize that my face, or maybe not my face, but like a sound effect is the only thing getting the laugh, I'd rather not. I'd rather it be like a creamer in my coffee. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to, like, even that, if I'm going to raise my voice, I got to back away. And even recently, some of the folks I have open for me on the road, I'm in the back of the room kind of pacing, going over my notes, and he just screams. And I look, and the whole crowd just kind of jerks. Like, what the? And I look up there, he's eating the microphone. And I said to him after, I'm like, brother, that thing, it amplifies your voice. You understand? And he'd been doing it for like 5-6 years. I'm like, you got to learn this by now. Ooh. And it's a powerful tool too. And you could get, sometimes if the crowd's like not paying attention, or there's a lot of murmur or whatever, sometimes getting louder is worse. it's getting softer and more quiet, and the audience will eventually say, "Oh, what's going on? Did we pay for a live show? Is that why we're here?" Oh.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of
that totally
bring
makes
them
sense. Yeah, that makes sense a lot to me. Kind of, if you're trying to talk over them or talk louder than them or get their attention, it just kind of adds to the noise that's already in the room. Whereas silence or quiet at a large event tends to draw more attention. Like when the music stops playing at a concert, if everybody was talking, everybody kind of looks at stage and sees what's going on.
Yeah, and I'll do it like if it's just one table that's yapping, I sometimes won't even address it, but I'll walk towards them while I'm doing my bit, and I'll stand right over them and just deliver it. So now I'm right there, you know, I'm right in their face, and I'm not even looking at them, but the sound of me is right, and you'll see them kind of, we did pay to see a live show, stupid. But I think that's the value of all those crappy gigs I did for a decade. Yeah. You know, I can be more selective now, and now I get hired, you know, because they want me specifically, you know, if it's a corporate or church event or wherever, or fundraiser or something like that. So I don't typically get a lot of the murmuring and talking and heckling anymore, but the value of those first 10 years of doing any gig, you want to tell jokes for a sandwich? Yeah. So I'll go stand on your back porch and I've told jokes from people's front porch, back porch, a barn, outdoors, indoors, the beach. It's all terrible. But you learn. That's how you learn. You gotta. Can I make a joke that's 6 minutes long, a bit, work in front of a crowd that doesn't want to hear it, not paying attention? I just make it 4 minutes, and the punchlines are quicker and faster and louder, and you know, it's a pacing and cadence thing for some crowds.
Yeah. We have a friend that is a comedian, and he does what's called the porch tour. And he literally goes around for, I don't know, 30 weeks a year, just on people's back porches, and he does pretty well. And I think he loves to do it too. And he's also got a slightly different style than most comedians. He's got a whole presentation type deal going on. He's an interesting guy. I don't know if you've heard of Robbie the Fire Bernstein.
I have not.
All right. He's a comedian out of New York. And
I'll look him up, but you can make a good living, because if those people are paying you to come to their house, it's typically, you know, there's no middleman, there's no booker, you're getting whatever they.
He just takes whatever house is willing to take him. He doesn't. They don't pay for it. He just says, "I want to come to this area," because he's.
That's so funny. Yeah,
he's done Jake's house, I think, right? So
he did my house in Georgia. Yeah.
So he shows. So he'll go around and he'll be like, "All right, I need a place here, there, whatever," using whatever network, finds a house.
That's so funny. Goes
and then just collects the ticket revenue that he sells. So
I've had some. It's hit or miss, because they a lot of people say they want a comedian at their event, but I've done family reunions. Why would you hire a public speaker of any kind at a these people haven't seen each other in a decade.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go, hey, you guys know that joy you're experiencing right now? I want you to shut your mouths, because this guy is gonna tell his dumb jokes for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know, depending on whose family it is, maybe you need them to stop socializing.
Right. Break up the fist fights, people. We got some comedy here today.
My wife and I watched your latest special last night, and thought it was great. She loved it. The whole masseuse bit, we were dying. That was fantastic, and describes probably my first experience with a masseuse. I mean, not to that extreme, but pretty close. I did not want to go. So what, like, you're a clean comedian, so like in the Gaffigan, like Brian Regan type vein. So like what made you go that direction?
I think in the beginning, I did curse a little bit in the very, very beginning, but not overly vulgar. It was just an S or F bomb here and there. It wasn't intentional. Yeah. But the comedians that I look up to are clean comedians, and I like all kinds of comedy. It doesn't matter. I don't clean, dirty, magicians, whoever. As long as you're funny, you're funny.
Yeah.
And I just I think I wrote a joke. I know I wrote a joke where the punchline was a curse word, and it was getting a big laugh, and I'm like, I can write better than that. That's not a joke. And then what if my goal was to get on TV, which now you can curse, but well, some TV show, but like what's an extension of my personality? It really is clean and clever, hopefully original and clever. So that's the path I went. I was like, how do I make? I love the challenge of, if I have a joke with a bunch of curse words in it, can I make it funny without the shock factor? I don't want to lean. It's like a crutch to me for some comics.
I couldn't agree more. I think it does end up becoming a crutch for a lot of comics. I don't particularly chase after, like, try to find those or stick around with those kind of comedians for very long. Like Brian Regan is like probably my all-time favorite comedian. I think that dude is hilarious. Him, I mean, then on the other side of the spectrum, my other favorite is Anthony Jeselnik. So, you know, both sides of that coin. But he's very intentional with his he uses very few words to get his stuff across. So he's not just dropping random curse words for no reason. He's very specific. Yeah, because a lot of comics, you're right, they'll use it as an adjective, like the effing grocery store I went to. It's like, is that really needed? It's a funny joke without. So just tell the joke. Like, I don't know.
The effing grocery store as opposed to the regular one.
Right. So they punch in the gut on the way out or something. What makes it that? But I just love the challenge, and if I can, and I've, I don't just, I mean, I know I'm clean, but if I have a joke that's dirty, I'll just give it to somebody else, and it's just not for me, Does that happen a lot? Like, do comedians like do that kind of like give each other jokes or write jokes for each other from time to time? I think it's more so. A lot of comics have a group of friends that they'll bounce ideas off of, and it's more of like, here's my idea, folks, and then they'll pitch in with like, a tagline, or have you thought about it from this approach? Because sometimes you're writing in this funnel with your experience, and you'll have somebody from a different background or a different gender that'll hop in and be like, have you thought about it from this perspective? Or what, I thought you were going to say this, and I was like, oh, I didn't think of that avenue, let me explore that. But on the rare occasion I come up with a bit or a funny thought, and I'm like, well, I'm never going to use this, and I see somebody on stage doing something in the realm of that topic, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to text you this. You do with it what you will. I'm not going to do it ever. So, but that's pretty rare. It's more just, here's a line, here's a little joke, for you. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Well, this show, so we tend to focus on like politics and cultural stuff, and the latest news. And so one thing that I've noticed happening over the last, especially since 2020, especially since COVID stuff, is comedians are really in the news a lot for commenting on political things. And they seem to be like shifting the conversation a lot more than they used to. What are your thoughts on that? Like the Joe Rogans and like Theo Vaughn and all these comedians who also have podcasts that are enormous. What are your thoughts on things like that and how that's become an occurrence? It's interesting to me. Their goal is to be funny. Yeah. Right. They're not lobbying for office or running for, not lobbying. They're not running for office or lobbying for a particular party. Maybe their point of view, but their goal is to be funny, and they're trying to do that. But I find it pretty divisive. But I also, from a business perspective, find that if you take a stance on one side or the other, you're going to gain a lot of followers. Granted, 50% of the people will follow you. Right. But you're going to, get a lot more followers. It's just not funny to me. It's very depressing to me to think of how much needs to be fixed. I do have some ideas, some bits. I actually mentioned Trump in my new material that I'm working on. I mentioned him just once, and even doing that, and I'm not even taking a side. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell what side of the aisle I'm on from how I mention him. I get ooze. I just mentioned the name. Even in like a a very conservative part of the country, I'll do the joke, and I'm even kind of poking, or liberal part of the country, I'm kind of poking fun at Trump a little bit. They'll ooh, like I'm like, this is, even if you, I don't understand. It's nothing to do. It's just the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think if it's funny, the comedian should do it, and if they don't mind isolating 50% of the audience, then that's fine. It's they're not hurting because of it, right? They're doing well. Yeah. The Jeff Dye's taking a stance.
Yeah, he's taking a firm stance.
Of course. And good for him. I mean, he's doing what if it was in my heart or really, in something that I cared about deeply, then I would talk about it. But my 30,000-foot goal is to make as many people laugh as possible. I want you to come to a show and forget about everything for an hour while I'm up there and leave in a better mood,
I like that. Yeah. We actually had a comment or a question earlier. It's actually not for Danny. It's for us three. Is Porch Tour intentionally a parallel market strategy? Like, does he use a ticket seller like Ticketmaster or have an independent system? So his independent system, it's intentional. He wants to rake in all the cash for himself, and he has a huge reach because he is on one of the biggest political podcasts in the world. And so he's the guest host of a show called Part of the Problem. And so
don't promote other podcasts on this show.
I will absolutely promote whatever I want, Zane, and I will remove you from the stream. No, he it's a great idea for him because he doesn't need Ticketmaster or any specific venue in order to make money. His reach is enormous.
I went to one show it was at one of his friends' house here in Pittsburgh. And I mean, it was just literally in the living room, and everyone brought chairs and just hung out in there. Like, it's low cost.
The other great thing about that is that these people are they want comedy intentionally. A lot of times we'll perform at a bar where they'll just announce, hey, there's comedy now.
Here's comedy.
Right.
Yeah, that stresses. So one thing that I struggle with is like feeling nervous for the person on stage. Mm-hmm. I don't go to many live shows because I just start sweating because thinking they're going to make a mistake.
Yeah. That's my favorite. Favorite.
If you're, so I'm assuming sometime in your 20-year career, you've bombed and done poorly on stage. What is that feeling like? Like to me, that would spell death. Like I might just die on stage if that happened. But to some people, they don't really give a crap. They just do it.
Right. Yeah, I admire those people. They have no sense of shame. And they also seem to be very successful eventually over the long term. They don't, get nervous in auditions and stuff like that. But so the bombing, I can bomb periodically. I'm trying new material. I've learned to embrace the silence, listen to the audience, and move on. Pivot or whatever. But a full-on bomb of a set early in my career would result in a full body sweat, and I was much heavier in the past. And it would start with the drip of sweat from the back of the neck down, and it would just slowly go down the middle of my back, and I would feel it. I'm like, oh, this is going in the underwear. This is going. And then I'm all inside my head. I'm like, am I saying English words? Are these, because they're not getting any of it. Am I saying words wrong? Am I having a stroke? Somebody call the medic. It's a full-on panic, and you kind of keep looking at the clock. Hopefully the club has a clock in the back or your watch or whatever, and you're like, how much more time do I have to do? And I stick with it. I do my time, but it's a full-on panic, and then you learn to look forward to the next time you're on stage. In the beginning, you're just like, I don't know why I do this. I should just step in front of a bus. But then you learn to listen to yourself and go, okay, well, I said this weird. They're not buying it. I'm not authentic on stage. It's partly my fault. Mm-hmm. And then you just get back on the horse. That's what builds that thick skin,
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's not like you have much to go with there. I mean, stand-up comedy, it's you on the stage, the microphone. I mean, and you're trying to make it work from there.
Bombing when you're early in your career is worse because let's just say you're hired to do 30 minutes and you have 30 minutes of material. You can't pivot. There's no like now I have, you know, a lot of material. I can kind of, they're not digging this family stuff. I'll switch the gears to this or whatever. You know, kind of moving around like that movie Minority Report. You ever see that with Tom Cruise where he's looking at the screen, he's kind of moving things around. That's what I'm doing in my head, like moving this here and this there. But yeah, but back in the day, man, you had 15 minutes and you were hired to do 15. You're like, well, let's ride this thing out because that's all I got, baby.
Is that 15 minutes? Is that include, like, are you planning on the laughs? Because that's got to take up some chunks of time. So is a 15-minute set more like a 12-minute set without laughs? Okay.
Yeah. You'll hear a lot of, like, if someone who's bombing, and comedians love to watch other comics bombing because we just get to roast them after, because we've all been through it. But in between jokes, they'll go, oh man, yeah, what's going on? What else? You know, and they're kind of just filling this time, and you're like, come on, buddy, let's get with you're stalling. Let's get to the jokes, buddy. But you can notice it, and you just have to get past it. I don't have any like magic trick for it.
Interesting. Yeah, that just sounds like there was a time when I've tried to think of like stand-up jokes and things that I could say on stage, but then the second I think about myself getting up there, I'm like, well, that's out. Like, I'm never gonna do that.
Sometimes
okay,
Go ahead, Zane.
I actually wanted to ask about this because I've done a grand total of 5 minutes of stand-up in my life. It was for an open mic night at a campus ministry event several years ago, but there are sometimes like things that happen to me or observations that I make that I'm like, if I was a talented stand-up comic, there is definitely something funny here. But I have no idea how to like extract the comedy out of this. So like what's the process like from realizing that you've made an observation or something that's happened that you could use for material and actually making the material out of it?
Yeah, so it's different now that I'm more experienced, but in the very, very beginning, I would transcribe my act word for word, and then I would highlight where I thought I was supposed to get a laugh, and then record it. Back when I started, it was a little mini cassette, you know, handheld thing that I brought on stage, and then I would listen to the audio, and if it didn't match, then I had a problem. But I would keep trying those jokes and maybe tweak them a little bit because maybe it just was the crowd. And then eventually, now that I'm more experienced, I can kind of tell. For me, I don't know if it's different from other comics, but for me, it's like I'll think of an idea and I think I know immediately how to open and close it. And then it's just filling the story in between with how can I take this audience on the journey of here's my idea, here's why I think this way, here's why I think it's funny. And then you can't front load the joke with very funny stuff and then end it with stuff that peters out. You have to kind of balance it. So you may move some sentences around to even out the flow of the joke. But it's by trial and error. The audience will tell you. Seinfeld said this. He said something to the effect of, it's very weird as a comedian that you're the expert in funny. You're the authority in funny. However, the audience tells me if I'm right. Or if I'm wrong. It's a very weird thing. Like, I'm the authority, but you get to tell me whether I'm right or not. Just by your reaction.
I think that's the economics of any type of product. Like, you know, the iPhone manufacturers and designers are the expert in that field, but if no one buys that edition of the iPhone, then you did it wrong.
Right. Yeah. That's a great point.
That makes sense. It's another product, but the product is something that's less tangible and way more feelings based and very specific to certain people.
And I think if a comedian truly listens to the audience, they'll tell you if something's funny, but maybe not in that direction. So they'll laugh a little and they won't go with you the whole way. So maybe you have to retool where you're going with the bit. Sometimes you get total silence and it's awful and you just have to reword it or keep trying it to make it work. But they'll let you know, like, hey, I'm with you, but something's missing. There's some big punch at the end you're missing. You know, they won't verbalize that literally, but you can kind of tell, like, oh, I want to hear more. They're laughing, they're chuckling a little bit, and they're smiling, and then at the end, it's just, oof.
Yeah.
So the key is if you're emotionally intelligent enough to listen to the audience, because there's way too many comics that run across that bomb on stage, and then I'll see them after, and I'll go, "How do you think it went?" And like, I killed it. I'm like, I'm like, okay, well, good luck.
I bet their relationships are really good too.
Right.
I bet they really listen to their spouses and girlfriends.
Right.
That's funny. That's interesting. Hang on one second. Let's see. Gnome says, I make memes because I laugh at my own jokes too much and I hate people.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good
like
route
that.
for folks who don't want to get up on stage. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, why not? You can sell those memes to companies. They'll buy them for their social media.
I mean, they really will. Yeah, that's a huge thing.
I've been offered that. I have a comedian acquaintance friend that either used to or still does run the Twitter account or the X account for Mentos candy.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So they're looking for funny people. So gnomes, go ahead and start applying.
He should apply to, I think the only one that Gnome could possibly fit in with might be Wendy's, because they're always on the attack and destroying other brands. Yeah.
Very funny.
They're my favorite Twitter account.
You've got the Steak and Shake Twitter account tweeting out pictures of human actions, so they're a pretty good one too.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to our next topic, which is this whole Epstein file situation. What was it? 3.4 million new files, 3.5 million new files were released. Much of them emails related to Epstein and his entire email account. They kind of set up a fake-looking email account online that you can go browse and look at all his emails, see all his drafts.
Jmail.world.
Jmail.world. Yeah, that's the
so
one.
Is this the long-awaited phase 2?
This is the long-awaited.
This drop is definitely more along the lines of like what people wanted to see and expect.
It's more along the lines, but so far, nothing that I would say is concrete evidence of anything. A lot of the things that people are citing are drafts that Epstein never actually sent to people, which proves absolutely nothing. And then there's no smoking gun for anything that happened on the island, anything that happened with his death. In fact, let's. I want to watch a quick video of a guy describing exactly what I think of this, which is why I saved this video. So here you go.
Transparency. It's a cover-up, and here's how it works. They show you flight logs, emails, PG-rated photos, fragments of conversations that have been stripped of the meat. A few big names get thrown under the bus. It's just enough to feel disturbing, but never enough to prove anything about the real players. That's what you'll see in this massive document dump. What you won't see is context. You won't see corroboration, and you definitely won't see accountability, because that's not the point. This is a weaponized DOJ strategy of controlled confusion, and it's working perfectly. You see, they don't protect powerful people by erasing evidence. They protect them by releasing it slowly, by delaying key documents, by over-redacting names, and by letting the public fight over the scraps if we're not too distracted by the latest military invasion of a third world country or a major US city. Chaos becomes their cover. The goal isn't to reveal the truth, it's to survive it. So read the files, but don't confuse access with justice, because sometimes the most effective cover-up is letting you see just enough. This isn't true.
Yeah. We've been saying this for over a year now. Which is we're never actually going to see anything damning in the Epstein files. Nothing's ever going to come of it. No one's going to get prosecuted. No one's going to get thrown in jail. Bill Gates isn't going to be in prison for the rest of his life.
Although a whole bunch of people learned the word goyim.
A whole bunch of people did learn the word goyim. Yeah. And so so many people are spending so much time trying to look into these files, and it's half. I think it's half of the number of pages that were originally in the Epstein file, which I think was 7 million documents. And I just still fully do not believe we're ever going to get anything close to any type of investigation or justice. Danny, like, I don't know where you stand on any of this. I don't even know if you want to talk about
the Epstein files. What is this that's happening? I'm kidding. First of all, let me tell you, look, first of all, that guy in that video needs to be doing voiceover work.
His voice is amazing.
Yeah. And I just want sitting in front of that dumb fireplace. I thought he was going to read me a Christmas story. It was the night before Christmas. All through with a pipe and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're giving us there's nothing was released. Here's my frustration with government, right? So we're not there. We don't have firsthand experience. So it's just stuff other people are telling us, right? So they're going to release what they want to release, and all this, like you said, non-incriminating stuff. It's not good stuff that came out, but it's non-incriminating stuff. Yeah. Is just fodder for talking heads to go, did this mean that, or did this mean this? And they get their ratings and they get their followers and they get their sponsorships, or commercials. It's a bunch of nothing. But you don't want to be mentioned. Jon Stewart talked last night about he was mentioned in the files. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that bit. That was great.
And it wasn't incriminating. It wasn't even bad. It was. I think they were talking about hiring an entertainer, looking for a voiceover for a documentary, and someone. And one of the emails said, we can get a Jon Stewart-like person. Not really Jon. So he was angry because he's like Jon Stewart?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. It's funny because along a similar line, I exchanged text messages and emails with a fairly well-known comedian who not too long ago got busted for child stuff on his computer.
Jeez.
And all I could think of was, if the FBI has confiscated his phone and going through his emails and his texts, it's my name's in there.
You're in the files.
I'm in the files. Not Epstein. It's another person, but I'm in the files.
Yeah, and like that's the extremely negative side of how many folks try to cover this as though what they're presenting is news or commentary on actual facts, when saying somebody's name is in the Epstein files doesn't mean anything. Which
Ron Paul was brought up. Is that where you were going?
That's where I'm going, man. Let's watch this quick video.
Ron Paul was named 42 times in the Epstein files, but it looks like he was one of the only politicians who looks better, not worse, after being named in the Epstein files. Here's one that says, any conceivable candidate, with the exception of Ron Paul, will be friendlier to Israel than the current administration. And Ron Paul has gained ground after a debate in which his refusal to join the Iran warhawks was front and center, pretty much just admitting that he was indeed the best Republican presidential candidate in both 2008 and 2012. But the craziest part is the Epstein files prove that the Ron Paul revolution and liberty movement that started in 2007 is still one of the strongest forces in U.S. politics today, because the Epstein files wouldn't have been released if it weren't for Ron Paul's disciple and successor in Congress, Thomas Massie, proving that the message of liberty is so strong and true that it only takes one free man to defeat an entire empire of lies.
I think he was a little hyperbolic with that last little bit, but
well, did you see that the day that all these new files came out, AIPAC donated like $80 million to Thomas Massie's primary opponent? What? I don't even remember that guy's name, but
Ed Galleron, I think.
He's still way behind in the polls. Like, he's just not going to win. It's crazy. The guy with virtually no institutional support is going to demolish a candidate that has tens and maybe hundreds of millions of dollars at this point of support behind him. That's wild. Like, that's a crazy story. And when he does it, it's going to be awesome.
The other person that came out looking better was Michael Saylor from
why do you have to step on everything? Stop stepping on
I'm
stuff.
ahead of you, I guess. You didn't give me the cue on what videos this week, so I don't know where
that
we're
is
headed.
fair.
So
I did not put them in the Discord this week. I was distracted, so apologies. Yeah, we'll get to that literally in the next segment. So just hold your horses there.
I do have to wonder if it's a dump of 7 million documents, and most of it are drafts of emails that he didn't even send. How many just random drafts of emails was this guy writing?
Well, it wasn't mostly drafts of emails. There's a ton of the ones that people are citing, especially the ones with Bill Gates, are just drafts. They're not actual emails that he sent or were sent to him by Bill Gates. And it was only 3.5 million. It wasn't 7. 7 is in the
3.5 million documents.
How many drafts do you have in real life? As an average person, I have no drafts.
That is a good question. I
might have like 3 or 4 sitting there that I started and never got
by
around
accident,
to,
right? You started it and you're like, I'm not going to send it to that person.
I have one.
Who starts writing another email before they're done writing? It's not like a novel. It's not like you gotta have multiple drafts.
It's like, hey, Bill, I wanted to see if you want to. What's Elon doing? Hey, Elon, let me get all these. And why are these people that want to be discreet? There's no secret. These billionaires can't come up with some sort of technology where they can communicate with.
Seriously, like there's so many encrypted email services out there. Then they use Gmail. The most
if I was like, hey, the 4 of us are going to rob a bank. Let's communicate about this because we're not the same part of the country. Or how do you want to do it? You want to do this rate? No. What's your Gmail? Give me a Gmail account.
You want to do it run posts on a Facebook page? Like
let's just plan it live on the show.
Or even beyond that, you're rich enough you can have your own servers and install them over like some sort of incinerator. That way, if you ever get raided, it all just drops into the incinerator.
Go old school. Go pigeon carrier.
There we go. Exactly.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I don't like that Nick was so prepared for that. Something's happening in Nick's basement.
Hey, I'm just coming up with good ideas here. I mean, it's like the Hillary Clinton server thing, but
Zach says, how did he have time to diddle kids with the number of emails he was writing? That is such a good question, man.
And the other thing,
he was getting all the massages for the carpal tunnel syndrome.
The number of emails he was writing is acquitting him of ever having time to have been a pedophile.
Right. Where's Jeffrey? He's on his computer again with those emails.
Seriously, so many. It's wild. It was jworld.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll just
jmail.world.
Jmail.world. That's what it was. Jmail.world. I'm just
so you can see it in a more natural context, which is great. I looked at it briefly.
We seem to see a lot of these. Are you going to another clip? We seem to see a lot of these technology breaches. Like, wasn't there a text thread with some politicians and military folks where a reporter was accidentally put in?
Yeah. Signal gate is what they call it. Because it was in a signal chat. And
how come I want to be accidentally put into something, not the Epstein, but like something top secret, you know?
Yeah, but you can sort by the person he's talking with over there on the left.
Yep.
So former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak.
We got Ghislaine Maxwell. We got Larry Summers.
Steve Bannon.
Deepak Chopra.
Wait, so you're telling me to believe that the last email that Jeffrey Epstein ever received had the subject line, "You are dead"?
from Jeep Project at yahoo.com.
The fact that this random guy just somehow figured this out and sent it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, maybe the person who killed him, because they're all obsessed with email. Like he killed him, and then he's like, you know what I got to do? I got to email him about it.
I mean, that's.
But if you go down to the bottom there, you can see pictures that were released in the files. And
my dearest Jeffrey, goodness gracious, what? I don't know when you'll get to read this. I was so sad that you had been found unconscious in your. This just reads so stupid. Like this doesn't seem like a real email.
This whole thing seems extremely fake.
It does seem extremely fake. Where'd you say the photos were? I never looked.
If you hover over at the very bottom, there's a little thing that keeps popping up. It was down there. I don't know what happened.
There it is.
I'd probably be
So
careful with the photo part of the.
Yeah, that's probably fair. So you just have a whole section of photos that don't really mean anything. Like
so photos, the other documents, no, but this is at least like in a very this is a very easy way to like look at it and kind of understand context a little better.
It is like they're interesting, but like nothing we're gonna find here is incriminating in any way.
I mean, there's stuff.
Wait, are we just scrolling through his vacation photos?
Yes,
seems like it. Yeah,
there's stuff that tugs on edges, right? One of the big things that I saw floating around was bringing up the Pizzagate stuff again. You know, mentioning pizza and grape soda, stuff like that. That's like, oh,
did any of them mention the Wayfair scandal?
Yes, that was a thing too. There was I think there was an invoice or something for some random product without description for thousands of dollars from Wayfair.
I'm so glad they included this photo and this dump. What a great photo.
Right. Yeah.
How do you redact an entire photo?
Well, it wasn't the entire photo. Like a little part around all the edges was still there.
Goodness. This is
Didn't some
crazy.
guy try to shoot up the pizzeria that apparently Pizzagate was supposed to be a part of?
Yeah.
Yes, and then he got killed by cops this past year.
Oh,
yeah, he did get killed by cops at a traffic stop this past.
And you know who the judge was that sentenced him?
Oh gosh, who?
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Person's on the Supreme Court now.
Clarence Thomas.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting.
What happens if you check that box in the top right, not safe for work?
Oh, probably something that will get us pulled from this show.
Yeah, let's not do that on stream.
I mean, we won't get pulled on Rumble, but we'll get pulled everywhere else. Which Rumble is no one care about.
What was Noam Chomsky talking to Epstein about?
Oh, here's Noam Chomsky in photos. Oh, on a plane. With Steve Bannon.
That's Noam Chomsky and Steve Bannon. That's an odd combination.
It's an odd pairing, man. I don't really understand that. I don't know. Let's see.
I do. You know who I do feel for a little bit in this whole thing is the person that truly was a great friend to Epstein and was not a part of any of it. You know, and they were like, and maybe a rumor. Imagine having a friend and all of a sudden, and rumors start popping up like, oh, he's doing this with the kids and the underage. And you're like, Jeff, no, the guy's fantastic. It's not like this thing's gonna. You're ridiculous. You're a silly goose. And this whole thing, and it's the biggest scandal of the last couple decades, probably.
Dude, I thought about that too. Like, I've got 5 guys that I grew up with since kindergarten, and we still hang out every year. We go on a trip together every year. And I was thinking about, like, if one of them is so good at hiding this kind of thing, like, how much of a fool would I look like for like staunchly defending them forever? And then it turns out I was very incorrect. Like, what a wild time for like the people that were actually close to him that maybe had no idea what was going on.
We do poke fun at the neighbors of serial killers who were like, he seemed like a nice guy to me. I mean, he just no one ever questioned the large collection of baby shoes he had in his basement. But you know, I think it's like. But we all also then have we have some friends too where like if someone goes, oh, your buddy Frank murdered someone, you're like, I could see that. I get that. he's a little loose in the head.
Yeah. I have those friends.
I'm fascinated. You know, this man inspired me to write a bit about it because I am fascinated from a non-political standpoint about the whole email expertise thing. It's really an outrageous number of emails.
It's an outrageous number. I don't know if, like, my wife sends emails all day long. I don't know if she'd ever get this prolific at writing emails. It's astounding how many are in this fake Gmail account, Jmail.
Someone needed to teach Epstein how to get to inbox 0.
Right, he's got no filters. Did he have folders? Was he organized? Did he have?
Oh, I also like that the investigators or whoever released this starred a whole bunch of them for us. Because I don't think I bet Epstein didn't star them for us.
Right. Right. This one's juicy, and he just stars it himself.
That's so weird. Yeah, but I didn't want to spend all night on this topic just because we've been saying this the entire time. Nothing is going to come of this. No one's going to get arrested. It's just not going to happen.
Like
Can I give a correlation or some sort of similarity to this? So you're right. What's the end game with this, right? So I kind of think of the Major League Baseball Houston Astros cheating scandal when I think of this.
Okay.
In the way that Houston got punished, maybe not enough. And I don't know if you guys are baseball fans.
Not enough. They didn't get punished.
Well, so they were cheating. They were stealing signs. They were literally stealing the sign from the pitcher, banging on a trash can in the dugout once if it was a fastball, two if it was a curveball, and they were winning a lot of games. Well, it turns out, rumor has it, that a lot of teams do sign stealing and cheating of some sort.
It's true.
So Houston was punished, and then no word. All this loose affiliation, much like the Epstein stuff, non-incriminating stuff kind of came out. And then it was kind of never talked about. So I kind of think that's going to happen because I think they know most of Major League Baseball does it. They can't punish everyone. So much like the Epstein files, if they really release the true everything, there's probably hundreds and hundreds of names that would just be crushed and penalized and criminalized. So maybe it's sort of similar and they just going to pick one, and he killed himself in his jail cell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison. What's that?
All the files.
What we've learned from this is that Jeffrey Epstein is the Connor Stallions of pedophilia.
So perfect.
For all my college football fans out there, you got that.
Yeah. Yeah. All us college football fans got it, but I don't think Nick got it. No,
I didn't get it. I don't know what that is.
So, Connor Stallions was like some kind of assistant coach at Michigan a couple of years ago, and they got caught doing some advanced scouting, which in college football you're not allowed to do. So, like, there were pictures floating around of him like disguised as like a Western Michigan coach the week that they were playing a team that Michigan was going to face a couple weeks later.
Right.
And so he like took the fall for it, but many people think that the rest of the Michigan staff was also in on it. And I'm sure there are also other college football teams that are also advanced scouting too. But it's like, if you look at what happened to everyone else besides him, it's like, you know, Jim Harbaugh is now an NFL coach. He's not even in college football anymore.
Right.
And, you know, Sharon Moore, I guess, is in jail, but not for that reason.
Right.
Seriously.
That's always the crazy part is that, you know, you get these these scandals going on there, and then the coaches can just like jump to the NFL. Because didn't Chip Kelly do that with Oregon?
Chip Kelly did that with Oregon. Yeah, that was the last one that I can remember that was pretty big, aside from Harbaugh. But Harbaugh also got suspended. Like he got punished for what he did. And
well, it was some kind of Michigan knew they were going to get in trouble, so they tried to get out ahead of it by like imposing a penalty on themselves so that the NCAA wouldn't put an even worse punishment on them. So what they did was they suspended Harbaugh for like the 4 easiest games of their schedule. It's like, oh no, we're playing Middle Tennessee State University and our head coach is suspended.
Right. You're not going to be coaching against Tulsa Welding School this week.
Gravionics says, how about that guy that got thrown out of the House of Lords that didn't know there were photos? I don't know who who are you talking about, Mitch? Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Just like the NBA that with the current gambling scandal, they got their
Chauncey Billups and stuff.
They got their 3 or 4 guys. I'm sure many more are gambling, but they're going to punish those 3 or 4, and then it's going to be squashed.
Yeah, and they spent all the resources on that rather than doing the Epstein stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next segment.
I am not fucking drunk.
Well, 19th are blue.
Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball.
This is everything about it's a clam. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a little bit too drunk to stand up.
On Wiedersehen, asshole.
I'm drunk right now.
Danny, apologies. I clicked it right before you said something. So what were you about to say?
No, I just thought of the line that I'm going to write in my notes in my phone. This is what I do as a comic, either a notebook or this. And it's just ideas and learning from you. How many millions of emails are out there?
3.5.
Yeah. I want to be, and so my thought was I want to be as proficient at Microsoft Outlook as Epstein.
That's pretty good. I like it. Oh, that's great. All right, y'all. Welcome to Drunkard of the Week, the part of the show where we show somebody saying or doing something that can only be explained if they're drunk, but they're not. You can submit your own nominations through our Discord, which is free now. We have a free Discord channel. You can submit nominations for Drunkard of the Week. You can also do so by just tagging us on X at Liberty Libation or hashtag Drunkard of the Week. This week's Drunkard is someone that I love. So please enjoy.
The world's largest Bitcoin holders was actually spared from Jeffrey Epstein because of his extreme social awkwardness. I'm talking about Michael Saylor. While everybody is digging through the Epstein files for politicians and celebrities, the most insane story is how Saylor's own weirdness acted like a natural defense shield against the world's most dangerous social circle. Leaked emails from Epstein's publicist came out, and she described Saylor as a complete creep and compared him to a drug-addicted zombie with absolutely zero social awareness. According to Epstein's team, Saylor was actually somebody to be avoided, not recruited. While they were looking for people they could manipulate and pull into their inner circle, Saylor was reportedly so awkward and out there that they wanted nothing to do with him. They literally complained that he has no ego, no vanity, no sex bait, no social instincts, no obvious fear, and his publicist says that she doesn't even know how she would blackmail him because he doesn't respond to normal human buttons. My favorite part was when she said, "I could not get any conversation out of him except I have a yacht I'm taking to Cannes. I walked around him and he was so weird that even I ran away from him."
We want to be free to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time.
All right. The Drunkard of the Week this week is Mr. Michael Saylor of Micro Strategies. He's one of the guys who's a massive proponent of Bitcoin. He uses, he buys up so much Bitcoin, more than any other institutional investor aside from, I think, the United States. And
I feel like that sounded like my agent reading my bio.
Imagine being so socially awkward that Jeffrey Epstein's inner circle calls you a creep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. And so this actually kind of ties in the two topics that are on either side of this particular topic, which kind of clears him of anything Epstein related, obviously, because they had no, he is a super weird guy. I've met him at Bitcoin conference last year for like 1 second. And he is, he's an oddball. And
he's just a complete like finance nerd on this. I mean, just completely focused in on that.
Yeah, he's and I love him for that. I think he does great stuff with Bitcoin, and I think he's helped Bitcoin adoption across the United States specifically. But what's happening recently, if you didn't know, is everything's crashing. Everything's coming down right now. All markets are tanking at the moment. Dow tumbles 600 points, S&P 500. We've got, let's see.
Silver was down to like 70 something dollars.
Silver dropped from 120 down to 70 something. Gold dropped from what was it, 5,000 down to like back down to like 3 or something. It was wild. And every crypto except for a stable coin, which doesn't ever change. Almost every crypto is in the red. There are a few that went up, which is wild. Hyperliquid, Canton. I don't know what those are, but
what does it have on I have all my money in Haktua coin. What does it say about?
let's see if that's still trading on Haktua coin.
That's right. Put all my eggs in one basket there, folks.
It's down 99.5% overall. So
off its height,
it's
only
height.
down like 12%. I thought it said.
Okay.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, you got all
I
the
bought
way.
right there on the left. Yeah, that's where I bought right there.
Really good timing. Yeah. You bought at its peak when it's the most popular. So that's a good time.
That's my strategy.
Yeah.
Long. I play the long game.
But every single coin is down that means anything. It's a rough time for if you're invested in any type of cryptocurrency or stock or real estate or literally anything.
I mean, I'm kind of numb to the Bitcoin drops at this point.
So normally I'm numb to the drops, but my gosh, man, a 50% drop in like 2 weeks or I guess a couple months is rough.
Yeah.
Like
it worked its way down to like 90 slowly, and then the past couple of days it's been kind of free fall down there. I mean, I'm buying the dip, so
me too. I literally set up 4 miners yesterday, so I'm purchasing.
You get yourself
every day.
You get some BitX. Some BitXs.
Yeah, 100%. And Mitch says time to buy. 100% time to buy.
Things are on sale.
Sure. Everything's on sale if you're into Bitcoin, into crypto, whatever it is that you're into. We on this show only promote Bitcoin, nothing else. Steven might try to talk to you about XRP, but I'll boot him off the show as soon as he starts talking about that crap. So one thing that has been interesting is the amount of emotions I felt over the last few days, which is what we were just talking about, and how watching Bitcoin go from 125 down to 61 today was utterly exhausting. And I had to go back and make sure that I knew, Noma's out tonight, yo. See you, Grumpy. I had to go back and do some research on former crashes and former dips in Bitcoin. So let me read y'all a couple of these. So at the end of 2017, after peaking, Bitcoin crashed over 80%. In March of 2020, it had a super quick crash that was 50%. In 2021, it crashed 53%. And in 2022, end of 2022, it crashed 77%. And so for all you hodlers out there, hodlers, whatever you want to call yourselves, don't give up the Bitcoin. Like if you're hodling, keep hodling. Nick,
I was super happy with myself in 22 because listening to people, I got a good sense of where the bottom of the market was.
Yeah.
And that's where I threw, not huge amounts of money, but I was also moving at the time, but I was like, it broke under 18 and I'm like, all right, $500. And then I wanted to throw another $500 at it as it broke like to 15, but I was in the process of moving at that point and I needed to stay liquid.
Yeah.
So I do regret that, but like I did, there were that points I was like, all right, let's go with a bigger buy right now. And I was quite happy with myself for that.
Heck yeah. Some quack says it perfectly, man. Look at it. Switch to the all-time view and laugh at the panic. Yeah. Like the dip feels terrible when you're in it, but if you zoom out and look at the full-time, like all-time view, it's just a little bitty dip and you can see that it's done this before and it will do it again and it will just keep going up from there. And Gravionics says, go get some metals too. Darn right. I agree with that.
I wait for silver to come back down to a reasonable price. Don't buy it at 70.
I agree. I mean, I'm not buying any more silver. I have plenty of it.
I was buying it in the 20s. Like I wouldn't buy it in the 70s. But yeah, like I didn't get the what was it? I think I bought my first Bitcoin right after the 2017 peak. So
Me too.
I rode that out, and I was dumb and young and didn't DCA at that point. And then it was after the run up to 69, almost 70,000 there in 2020.
Yeah.
That I finally set up a DCA and started buying. And
Yep.
that was intentional. Like I saw it hit the peak. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get in, and I know it's probably I'm gonna ride this down. But I bought it I set that up with the intention of, okay, I'm just gonna stack it on the way down. And I rode that all the way down, buying the entire way.
Yeah. Some quack is dropping some knowledge in the comments. Or wisdom, not knowledge, wisdom. It's currency. Nobody worries about the strength of the dollar when they're paying for a haircut. That's exactly
and that's kind of the other side of all these market crashes, is that you can see it as assets becoming less valuable, but you can also view it as the dollar becoming more valuable.
That's exactly what it is. Because it'd be one thing if it was only Bitcoin tanking, but the fact that everything is tanking means that it's actually the dollar that is somehow spiking. It's not everything is tanking, it's the dollar is spiking.
Well,
and Warren Buffett makes this point about stocks. Like when the price of stocks decreases, he's like, well, if you're an investor and you plan to continue buying more stock, then generally people like it when the price of things that they want to buy goes down. Yeah. It's just that when we're talking about stocks and investments, do people really care also about the market value of what they currently own?
Yeah. Danny, I don't know what your thoughts are on Bitcoin or crypto or any of this stuff. So could you, specifically Bitcoin, do you have an opinion on Bitcoin in general?
I've stayed away from it because I don't understand it. I don't.
That's fair.
Well, you've come to the right place.
You have come to the right
I'm
place.
getting a lesson here listening to you guys, and there's a lot of acronyms I don't know what to say. I'm trying to think of something funny, but nothing's coming. But yeah, I don't know. There was I do know. Didn't somebody buy pizza with Bitcoin?
Yeah,
yes.
the first purchase with Bitcoin was 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin.
And we celebrate that as Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Yep.
May.
Yeah,
not Pizza Gate, Pizza Day.
Yes, definitely not Pizzagate. Slightly different thing.
Yeah, it's good.
So, I mean, there's a whole lot we could get into on Bitcoin, and Nick could super nerd out. Zane could really take us in a direction that's more based on the Federal Reserve and the dollar and economics at large. But at least I'm fairly certain that me, Nick, and Zane all believe that Bitcoin is a far superior currency and store of value than, at the very least, the dollar. Since its inception, Bitcoin has done nothing but increase, while we've watched the dollar decrease in value since the year 1913. And so as far as alternative stores of value, we tend to promote things like Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Real estate is in there too, but less so than the others, because in a time of crisis, what are you going to do with real estate? You can't spend it.
And there's nothing back in the dollar anyway, right? That stopped in the 70s, right?
Yeah, 1971. He took us out. Nixon took us off the gold standard, and that's when the dollar just super inflated.
Isn't it hard to regulate the Bitcoin? A lot of the dark web transactions are in Bitcoin only, and
no, that is true. But most of the cartel stuff is done in cash, even dollars, even cash bank, the US dollar is used for every what's the right word, every illegal transaction. Dollars are used. They're going to use it, and they're going to use whatever currency is there, and Bitcoin was just the newest one, but they were using the dollar long before that. And so it's not, we don't believe in regulation basically at all, as libertarians. And so trying to regulate Bitcoin, one, it's nearly impossible. You'd have to turn off the internet in order to regulate it. But two,
and even that's probably not going to work.
We kind of
got ways around that.
Yeah. Zane, can you explain why like regulation of any currency or economic product is not valuable and is not a good thing?
Well, yeah, especially in the case of currency, right? Like, what makes currency valuable? Like, the reason we don't use like toilet paper as money is because it's way too easy to produce it, so it's almost valueless. And so the same thing with the US dollar, where in the Constitution a dollar actually is defined in terms of a specified weight of gold and silver. Like, I think it's it was something along the line. I forget what the exact ratio was, but it essentially says the US dollar is such and such amount of gold.
It was
and
like
it
$20 to an ounce or something, and then
that's
FDR made it 35 to an ounce.
That like up until the early 1900s, you could just go to the mint with the specified amount of gold or silver, and you'd have to pay a minting fee, but you would give them the gold or silver and they would make $1 for you, because that's what $1 was. It was just an amount of gold and silver. And the reason why gold and silver is good as money is mostly because it's rare. I mean, it's also valuable for things other than use as money, but it's highly useful to use as money because it's small, it's divisible, but it's also rare. You can't it's hard to mine more gold out of the ground. You can't just snap your fingers and make more gold.
Yeah,
right.
But ever since we got the Federal Reserve that just essentially decides how much US dollars there is going to be, and especially after 1971, where it was completely unhooked from any semblance of being backed by a specified amount of gold.
Right.
And the Fed is very open and transparent about this. Like in basic macroeconomics, you learn that the Fed electronically creates money in order to buy bonds to put onto its balance sheet. So it's just making up money completely out of thin air. So if you make up more money that's backed by nothing, then the only thing that can possibly happen is that the price of all of the real stuff, like it's hard to make food and cars and consumer products, they're actually valuable. So if you don't have any more food or cars, but you just have more pieces of paper, then the price of all the stuff that's actually valuable, the only thing that can happen is it goes up in terms of the pieces of paper that you're just pulling out of your butt. And so the reason why, so this is why since 1913, the dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power.
It's actually 99.3%, but yes.
Whereas in the 1800s, aside from like the Civil War, where we also had paper money that was backed by nothing, but for most of the 1800s, we had deflation. So things were actually getting less, where prices were coming down in dollar terms, which is a sign of economic progress. Because it means that things are getting easier to make.
But that told me, the TV told me that was bad, Zane. Prices, if you did that, no one would buy anything ever.
Well, I don't have time to get into that. But the point being, the reason why Bitcoin is a good money is because we know exactly for sure, like by the very code that all of it's based on, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. And so nobody can just decide, oh, well, I want more of them, so I'm just going to make them.
Yeah, which is what distinguishes it from 99.9% of the other cryptos, which they can just print more of the coin, whereas Bitcoin, the entire code base won't allow that to happen. So if someone tries to
the cap of 21 million,
the guy who invented it. So who the guy or the group, we don't know. There's some speculation out there. I think it's Hal Finney, but there's speculation out there, and it could have been a group of folks. We'll see.
Adam back
money on Kevin Bacon. So because the Fed is privately owned, and there's more electronic dollars than there are physical dollars.
Yes,
right. That's what we
the physical dollars is
M2,
essentially
M3.
like the salad dressing on the salad. Like the only thing that physical dollars really even do anymore is like physically represent dollars that really exist electronically elsewhere.
Right.
Now,
how would one how would one use, Bitcoin at, let's say, like a gentleman's club?
At a gentleman's club,
you can't.
It would be harder to throw that on stage. Yeah,
I don't do that. I'm just saying other people. I think other people might want to know.
So you
would do?
You would download. You would buy these things called SAT cards.
Okay.
Cold Wallet. You'd load up some Bitcoin onto them. You could load up whatever amount you want. You could do $1 per card, and then you just throw them.
No. The easier way is you'd have a QR code to a Lightning wallet, and you would just be you'd just be dropping sats.
Yeah, if you're the stripper, if you're the dancer, then just have your QR code tattooed on your ass, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just asking for other people. I don't.
Yeah. No,
I'm an idea guy.
That's a great question. And to answer Mitch's question, I think it's 19 point something at this point.
It's approaching 20. Yes.
Yeah, it's like 19.7 million Bitcoin.
Most have been mined. Yeah, a huge majority have been mined.
Yeah,
because the way it works
mine
is
Bitcoin without buying it, right?
Yes. So that's what keeps that's what backs Bitcoin is the energy used to mine it and keep it online. So it's a currency backed by energy, which is proof of work, whereas like the Federal Reserve printing money is just proof of stake. Actually, that's not even proof of stake. Ethereum is proof of stake. Federal Reserve is just printing money out of thin air for no reason, just to do their own whatever they want to do.
And it costs more to make a penny than a penny's worth, right? So
they stopped making pennies.
Making pennies,
which is extremely depressing. Yeah, we had a whole episode about that because that was a crazy day. Is that like historic day in America where they stopped making the penny? That's a weird one. And what we related that to was there are a whole bunch of countries that their currency has inflated so much that they stopped printing any type of coin and all their bills are enormous. And so that's kind of the road that we saw America going down because the value of the dollar continues to decrease because we keep printing more money. And so at some point, we're not going to have dimes, nickels, or quarters either. And that'll be something that happens.
I just thought of a really cringy penny joke that I was going to say, but then I started to blush before.
I'm actually going to do a bit of show and tell here.
Okay.
Because as a Christmas gift from my sister, she got me $20 billion.
Wow.
I was gonna say that the Zimbabwe is always the go-to.
Yeah, that's
but then like as a less extreme example, like you go to Mexico and there's no cents to the peso, it's just full pesos, and you might pay 200 pesos and it's worth I don't know $20 or something now at this point. I have no clue. I just remember going there and seeing those prices and being like, okay, this is a little odd.
Yeah.
But that was on spring break in college. I was drunk the whole time. So
well, what's even funnier is when their currency is that worthless and they still go out to the cent. Like last Christmas when I was in Tanzania with the family, like one Tanzanian shilling is worth like let me do it the other way around. 2,400 Tanzanian shillings was worth $1.
Goodness.
But they still had all their prices out to the cent of the Tanzanian shilling. So it's like a bottle of water is 10,000 shillings and 0 cents.
How many sats do you think a Tanzanian cent is?
That would be like 1 sat.
It's got to be pretty close, right?
It would be extremely close to 1 sat. Yeah, that's wild.
I like how Zane just casually mentions his Tanzania trip.
Yeah.
Well, I talked about it extensively the episode after I got back, so I didn't want.
And then he did trivia related to Tanzania.
Yeah, he made us try to guess a bunch of things in Tanzania, which none of us have ever been there.
He goes on these vacations and then comes back with odd things and makes us try to guess where he was.
Speaking of, I think it's that time, y'all. Let's play some trivia. All right. Zane, take it away, my man. It's all you.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another week of Libations Trivia. We're glad to have you as always. As usual, we've got trivia in 3 rounds. Round 1 is 8 questions, 1 point each. Round 2 is 6 questions, 2 points each. And round 3 is 4 questions, 3 points each. Our contestants here will write down their answers on a piece of paper, or if one's not handy, you can just say it when I call on you. And if you are in the audience, please leave a comment with your answer, and I will accept the first audience answer that's not obviously a joke. Tonight's categories. Round 1, we have Super Bowls. Round 2, Superb Owls. And round 3, the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh. Zane, you're too clever for your own good, man.
I'm just clever enough for my own good. All right, round 1, let's get into some Super Bowls.
Let's do it.
Question 1. Post-World War II food shortages led the government of Japan to recommend consumption of bread made from surplus American wheat. This inspired businessman and founder of Nissin Food Products Company, Momofuku Ando, to invent what other easy-to-eat wheat-based food product?
Five seconds.
All right, Jake.
I'm gonna guess ramen.
Nick.
I says ramen noodles.
Danny.
Well, I don't think you can see it, but ramen as well.
There we go.
Audience also has it. It is instant ramen. The idea of ramen noodles had been around, but they were really hard to make until this guy figured out how you could make them in advance and then just put them in hot water and they would come back to life. Question 2. The toilet bowl-shaped coyote cannon is a staple of what lupine chain of indoor water parks?
What?
What's so funny about this?
Lupine.
It's a word that means something if you know what it means.
I know what the frick it means.
I don't know what it means.
That's fair.
Indoor water parks. Who goes to those bacteria?
Seriously, I haven't been to that since I was a child. I think I know.
There was a stretch there of 8 or 9 years where my family went to one of these pretty much every year. It was great. Jake.
I think it's. Hang on, I'm still writing it down. It's a longer name, right? I think it's the Great Wolf Resorts, but I'm not positive.
I said Great Wolf Lodge.
Danny.
I had Wolf Lodge.
Oh. Let's see.
Audience also has it. It is Great Wolf Lodge. Nick and the audience get a full point. I'll give Jake and Danny both a half a point.
Hang on.
Why do I know that, by the way? Why is that in this head?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I've ever been to a Great Wolf Lodge.
No.
I went to one indoor water park as a kid, and that was
smelled like chlorine for 2 weeks.
All right, hang on.
So the
one
smell
second.
that everyone.
Hang on.
What?
I'm going to explain to you why I should get full credit.
Oh, is it something like the parent company of Great Wolf Lodge is called
Great Wolf Resorts operates a chain of family indoor water parks.
No research allowed.
This was post question.
Actually, if I want to be really pedantic, I could say I'm not giving you the full point because I specifically asked for the park, not the name of the company.
You're a prick. Whatever. Let's move on.
Challenge failed.
Yeah, Danny, I get super heated sometimes because Zane asks inane questions that drive me crazy.
Question 3. The town of Bennington in what New England state is nationally recognized for its production of pottery?
There's only like 5 states to guess from.
Dadgummit, I just got this new freaking marker and it's already going out.
You should have bought it at the Dollar General like I bought mine.
Shut up.
All right. Jake, whenever you're ready.
Valley Bowl.
Nick.
New England state, I guessed Vermont.
Danny.
I had Mass. I was going to go Vermont.
I was between the two.
Audience also has it. It is Vermont.
Whatever. Pause. I have another dry erase. Just give me 1 second.
I was also, I thought Massachusetts. I also thought you might sneak a New Hampshire in there.
To be honest, I chose Mass because that was probably the only state I was 100% sure was in the New England area.
It's always good to go with an answer that could be right.
Right.
Versus Jake, who just didn't even give an answer that could be right.
I heard my name, and I don't like it.
Go
ahead, Zane.
Question 4. Unlike the similar shard, what term is used by archaeologists specifically to refer to pottery fragments found at excavation sites? And usually I am very generous with the spelling, but this question you've got to get the spelling exactly right.
Oh, it takes my answer right out of it.
Unlike similar shard.
If it's hard to spell, Zane, just put down that I didn't get the answer right.
No, trust me that it's very similar to the word shard.
Go ahead, Zane.
Jake.
Bits.
Nick.
Flake.
Danny.
I had sliver.
Audience also says bit. But this would be the shard.
Nope. No one's going to get that.
Whoever came up with that needs to unalive themselves.
They could have just said shard and it would have been better.
Well, they didn't.
Or
yeah,
shat.
so they should unalive themselves.
Oh, goodness gracious. Did y'all know that harrier is a word?
Harrier?
Like as in more hairy?
No, like it's somebody who's like frantically looking for something or has like super frantic, nervous, pressing energy.
Oh yeah, because Harry, Harry, is like the verb form of that. So yeah,
sure. I'd never heard of that till the other day. It's a wild one.
Question 5. The title character of what Charles Dickens novel is put in solitary confinement after he asks for a second bowl of gruel? And this is a classic "Please, sir, I want some more" scene.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a stab, and I'm not going to guess my answer, but I'm going to take a stab and say it is a Charles Dickens novel. One of those.
Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Jake.
Oliver Twist.
Nick.
I said Oliver Twist.
Danny.
Mine is wrong. It's not Oliver Twist.
Audience also has it. It is Oliver Twist.
Choose more American authors like Mark Twain.
Yeah.
He was on last week.
I wasn't on last week, so that doesn't count.
Well, I had a category called Groundhog Day, and the last two answers were Mark Twain and Jackie Chan, both friends of the podcast. All right, question 6. Introduced in 1919, the Model H5 was the first home stand mixer introduced by what company, which is now a subsidiary of a Whirlpool?
Whirlpool. I feel like I can picture. Are they colorful now? They have like red.
They can
like,
be.
Yeah.
I feel like I've recently seen a mint colored one.
Yes. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I will never be able to get this correct. Whenever you're ready, Zane.
The picture on the screen here is, I believe, what the original actually looked like. Jake.
Big fat nothing.
Nick.
Cullen art?
Danny.
It's wrong, but I put GE.
The audience says Hobart, but this is KitchenAid.
KitchenAid. Yeah, that was tough. That is I like that question though.
Yeah, that's a reasonable question.
Yeah.
Unlike all my other ones.
I mean, these aren't haiku. At least you didn't bring out haikus for the guest.
Haikus are my favorite part. That I love the haiku ones. Those are more fun.
Noted. Question 7. What group of Australian children's entertainers love to eat fruit salad? One of my favorite toys when I was a small child was a car with these people in it, and when you push down on it, the car would go and it would start saying fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
Go ahead, Zane.
Jake.
Is it the Wobbles?
Nick.
VeggieTales.
No, I got nothing. I couldn't think of it. I've seen it before.
I feel like I think I might know this, but I can't think of the word. So
the audience says AC/DC. This is not the Wobbles. It is the Wiggles.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is after my time as a kid, so
me too. Yeah, this only Zane.
It's like Zane's time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I write trivia, so I can just indulge my own childhood nostalgia.
It's the
100%
same reason
I asked about Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, nope. I believe that 100%.
Question 8. What flavor of ice cream, popular in the upper Midwest, includes vanilla and citrus flavors, is named for its distinctive color, and is often said to taste like the milk left over after eating a bowl of Fruit Loops?
Oh, that sounds delicious. Flavor of ice cream. I hate it when the music goes away during
color. Name.
I mean, I guess go. I don't know.
Jake.
I've got nothing. I don't even have a clever answer.
Nick.
Maybe orange creamsicle.
Danny.
Great answer. I don't have a color, but I instantly thought buttermilk, but that's not a color.
Oh, but I like that answer. That sounds good too.
Audience says creamsicle. This is Blue Moon.
Never heard of that.
Nope. Never heard of it.
Bummer.
Upper Midwest is weird.
Yeah, Upper Midwest is also a weird. I don't know. It's just a weird way to group those people.
All right. At the end of round 1, we've got Nick and the audience tied with 4. Jake with 2.5. Danny with 1.5.
All right. Anybody's game. Let's go.
All right. Let's get back into it with round 2, Superb Owls. Question 1. What type of owl, named for their distinctive vocalizations, is also known for the tufts of feathers over their ears?
What?
The owl pictured is not the answer, correct?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Unless the Owl Research Institute is lying to me.
Okay.
I do try to make sure I'm getting my sources from places other than Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Jake,
Go ahead, I guess, because I just put barn.
Nick,
I believe it's a barred owls are a thing, but I said great horned.
Danny.
I have the great tuft feathered over the ear owl of Wisconsin.
Good guess. The audience also says great horned. But the distinctive vocalization in question here is the screech. It is the screech owl.
I honestly never even thought about the fact that there might be more than one type of owl. I just called them owls.
Yeah.
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 Well, question 2. What other type of owl can be easily identified by its heart-shaped face?
I'm so screwed.
Yeah, I don't know any owls.
I don't even... This is a problem.
This is the last owl species question.
Okay, great.
All right, Jake.
I said snow owl.
Nick.
A barred owl.
No,
Danny.
Let's go to the audience. Zane.
Audience doesn't have anything yet. But Jake, you just should have run it back with your answer for question 1, because this is the barn owl.
You've got to be kidding me.
I thought I gave a tell whenever somebody gives an answer that comes up later in the quiz. But ever since you've said that, it's happened multiple times and you've never got it.
Yeah, I know. You changed your tell or something, because I don't see it anymore.
Question 3. By how many degrees can owls turn their head in one direction? So just for reference here, if you turn your head like this from straight on to the side, this is a 90-degree turn. So my question is, in one direction, how many degrees can an owl turn their head?
Closest gets it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do that.
Awesome. Closest gets all the points. I like these kinds of questions.
I did see a video of an owl doing this, so I know it's real.
Okay.
Jake.
I said 210 degrees.
Nick.
You probably should have said 105 if that was going to be your answer. I said 135.
Danny.
You're talking about the full scope, Jake.
I got 280. I don't know if you can see that.
All right. Audience says 180, but the winner on this is Danny because it is 270 degrees.
Oh!
You said one direction.
Yeah, I know.
270 would be the full range of motion.
No, no. What happens is that the owl turns their head to the side and then turns their head all the way back to look directly behind them, and then turns it even more to look back over their shoulder the other way, all turning their head in the same direction.
Yeah, Nick.
I thought it was 270 in the.
Yeah. How many points is that?
2 points. You just jumped ahead of me.
Who knows their owls now?
That's why this is an interesting fact. Like, it wouldn't be interesting to say owls can turn their heads slightly more than humans.
Yeah, Nick.
Question 4. Owls regurgitate the indigestible parts of their prey, resulting in a combination of hair, bones, and scales referred to by what term?
Are you kidding me?
Okay, I actually know this.
Headgummit, Nick. Nick's trying to turn his.
No, I heard the dog getting up and coming in. You can see the dog looking in the background. The dog came in and she wanted attention.
Go ahead, Zane.
Jake.
I say pit.
Nick.
I'm almost certain they are pellets.
Danny.
Yeah, I guessed a little callback. Haktua.
That's good.
Very appropriate. Audience also has it. It is the pellet.
You gotta be kidding me.
You know I'm going to use these questions to sound smarter than I am in the future. You know.
Perfect.
Please do.
Well, now you are smarter than you were.
That's right. You know, the owl can turn its head 270 degrees.
Question 5. The kindly owl mascot for what application is well known for reminding users not to break their learning streak?
Except he died.
Wait, the kindly
What?
owl mascot for what application?
They killed the owl.
They did.
They did?
Yeah, and they
I
might
didn't
have
do that.
resurrected him at one point. There was a whole thing for a couple days.
No, I don't. I used to use this app. I don't any longer. It didn't help me at all. I'm not fluent in French.
I was using it to try to learn German.
Okay.
All right,
I use
Jake.
the yeah. Anyway, Duolingo.
Nick,
I put also Pittsburgh-based company Duolingo.
No,
Danny?
I put Rosetta Stone. That's the only one I knew.
That's what I'd use to learn German, and I know none of it.
I tried using Rosetta Stone for like a week to learn Italian in elementary school, but that did not go well. This is Duolingo. Audience also has it.
Entschuldigen Sie, ich verstehe nur ein bisschen Deutsch. That's all I know.
Yep.
I know one sentence of German, Du bist ein Kartoffelmauer, which means I am a wall of potatoes.
That sounds like that too.
Yeah, but you've been to Germany, Zane, so
have I.
And I did not
They
say
laughed
that.
at my German.
All right, question 6. What snowy owl did Harry Potter receive from Hagrid for his 11th birthday?
Oh, you freaking Gen Z nerd.
Why are
Oh, this is not Gen Z.
I've
this
never
is
read these
millennial.
books or watched the movies. These
What?
came out slightly before I was literate, or at least the first ones did.
I remember specifically starting this book in 2nd grade.
You said that we were done with the species of owl, but look where we are now.
He's
I
asking
gave you
for the name.
species. I'm asking for the name. I didn't say
You
what
didn't
was
say
the
what
species
name.
of the owl that
He said
You didn't
snowy
say what name.
owl.
You said what
We got
snowy
species.
owl. So
So what's the
okay,
name of
I'm
the owl?
asking for the owl's name. If that
okay,
was
I didn't know that. I was going to write down a guess on species.
Okay,
So maybe be more
well,
specific, Zane.
All right, Jake.
I'm gonna go back to species and just say barn owl.
There you go.
No. Nick.
Hedwig.
Danny.
I guessed Tim.
Audience also says Hedwig. It is Hedwig.
No Tim, huh? All right.
Oh, Tim is.
I'm sure there is a character somewhere in Harry Potter named Tim.
I've
Yeah,
never
but
seen
Just not
it.
this one.
It's way funnier if it's Tim the owl. That's so
Right.
funny.
All right. At the end of round 2, we've got Danny with 3.5, Jake with 4.5, and Nick in the audience both tied with 10.
Oh my
I
god.
gotta get
I
ahead
don't think
of
it's
the
important
audience.
to like whoever's in last place. You don't have to kind of, you don't have to mention the like a name. You know what
I mean,
Like,
usually Jake's in last place, so
hey,
Shut up. Shut up. We're still in this, Danny.
All right.
It's 3 points per question in this round.
There we
So,
go.
and I feel like all three of us know Super Bowls or sports.
Yes, this round actually is about what I've been joking about. These are Super Bowl related questions.
Hallelujah. Let's go.
Question 1. Linebacker Chuck Howley was named MVP of Super Bowl V in 1970. Howley played for what team that in fact lost Super Bowl V, making him the only Super Bowl MVP named from the losing team?
Chuck Howley.
Can you just tell us the color of the jersey?
I can say that Chuck Howley is the Super Bowl champion because this team won Super Bowl VI the next year.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
I know who won the first 2 Super Bowls, but after that, it's kind of a blur until.
I'm gonna change my answer then. Hold on.
I'm going to change my answer and then I'm going to shoot myself when my
Right.
first answer was correct.
All right.
All right, well, let's get it over with then. Jake.
Chiefs.
Nick.
Said the Colts.
Danny.
Raiders.
Audience doesn't have anything yet, so I'll give them another second or two. Oh, they say the Ravens, but this is in fact the Dallas Cowboys.
I
The
feel like
Ravens.
worst fan ever.
The Ravens weren't even a team until the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore.
I didn't remember that the Cowboys won Super Bowl VI, and I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, you're one of those people.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about being a Falcons fan is that you don't have to remember how many Super Bowls you've won.
You're a Falcons fan. That's right. My buddy's got a great joke about that. He teases Falcons fans. So how bad were they losing to the Patriots? Was it 28-3?
It was in fact 28-3.
Yeah, 28-3. So he goes, "How angry were you about this the Super Bowl on a scale from 3 to 28? How angry were you?"
That's good.
No, I'm much more into college, so I'm a much bigger Georgia football fan than the Falcons, which has served me pretty well the past several years, but can't complain too much. Question 2. Super Bowl 42 in 2009, the first I remember watching, is the most recent edition won by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the only edition ever contested by what NFC franchise?
The only
Wait.
Who did they play? That's his question. Who did the Steelers play in that?
The Steelers didn't play in 2009.
Yes, they did.
No, they played in Super Bowl 40 against the Seahawks, and then they played my freshman year of college against the Cardinals. That would have been 2011.
Oh, sorry, there is a slight typo here. It should say Super Bowl 43 in 2009, not Super Bowl 42.
So you're asking for who they played.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to say something that Nick just said.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm off there, didn't I?
All right, Jake.
Is it the Cardinals?
Nick.
Cardinals.
Danny.
Niners.
I was wrong. Yeah, because Green Bay was in 2011. Okay. Yeah. I've been drinking.
Wow, we were both wrong, but it is the Arizona Cardinals.
Hallelujah.
Whoa. Is that the Kurt Warner year?
No, Kurt Warner won with the Rams. I don't know I don't think he was playing. Well,
maybe
he could have been playing with the Cardinals. I don't know
I
what
don't know
other
if he took
quarterback
it to
would
the
have
Super
led
Bowl,
them
though.
to. Yeah, that's a good point.
I would have bet the Cardinals never made it to the Super Bowl.
I would have bet that too. I forgot about that.
Question 3. Super Bowl 60 will be the second Super Bowl featuring the Patriots against the Seahawks. The previous matchup, Super Bowl 49, was sealed after what Patriots cornerback intercepted Russell Wilson on the goal line with less than 30 seconds left to play?
I just watched this replay and now I can't remember what it was.
I don't. Oh man, I can't believe I don't know this.
I can picture the entire play.
Yeah, it was a short pass, right? They were on the 3
Yeah.
or 5 yard line.
Yeah, and he picked
I
it up
can't think of it.
right in front of the receiver.
Goal line, yeah.
Well known as possibly the worst play call in the NFL history.
Yeah, they had Marshawn Lynch just run it in. I cannot remember.
Jake.
Go ahead. I don't know. I can't remember.
Nick.
I don't know. I'm going to guess Darrell Revis was there.
Danny.
Yeah, I don't know, but I
I
put down
wasn't.
Ty Law.
It is.
I haven't heard that name in so long. Malcolm Butler.
The funny part of that, Darrell Revis and Ty Law both went to the same high school outside of Pittsburgh.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Question 4. In 2007, the NFL failed in its attempt to trademark the phrase "the big game" to refer to the Super Bowl. This was partly because the big game has already referred to the college rivalry between what two West Coast schools since the 1890s?
There were West Coast schools playing football in the 1890s?
In fact, there were.
There
had to have been, because the first Rose Bowl was like in 1901. Of course, the West Coast team got beat so bad that they didn't have another one for like over a decade after that.
Yeah, that's true. That was actually a trivia question that I did.
Is any hints that you want to give us?
No hints. Shut your mouth, Zane.
Do we get half points if we get one of the teams?
Yeah, I'll give you half points. I will recognize the audience answer from loyal Oregonian Sumquack that says Oregon and Oregon State. That rivalry, I believe, used to officially be called the Civil War, but then they changed it because they were too woke. Despite the fact that this phrase Civil War has referred to probably dozens of civil wars, not just the American Civil War. Right. But now it doesn't have a name. They just call it the Oregon State rivalry, which is very stupid.
That's stupid, yeah. All right. Go ahead, Zane.
Jake.
I said Stanford and Cal.
Nick.
Shot in the dark, USC, UCLA.
Danny.
Same as Nick, USC, UCLA.
It is Cal Stanford.
How about that?
That's a game no one would care about these days.
That's true.
But you don't want to see. Oh wait, no, that's never. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a game that's so irrelevant. I was about to make a joke about their irrelevant quarterback and then realized I was thinking of the wrong team's quarterback.
You were thinking of the UCLA quarterback.
At the end of trivia, we've got Danny with 3.5, audience was 10, Jake was 10.5, edging out the audience by half point, and Nick is tonight's winner with 13.
Dad freaking gummit. So close. So close. 1 third round answer away from defeating Nick.
Has it ever happened? It's never happened?
I beat Nick once or twice, but it's extremely rare. I've only won like 5 times in our 161 episodes.
I think Steven's got me on occasion. I don't think Alden's ever really in contention, except if the topic is drinks.
Yeah, I think he's won twice.
Or movies.
I think our guest has won 3 times, maybe 4.
Well,
we got to go look up the stats on this.
Yeah, I need to go back.
Unless it's about food or comedians or baseball, then you're fine.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, this is part of the show where we kind of just recap everything. So, Danny, man, really appreciate you coming on, sticking around through the whole show and tackling some of the topics with us. Can you tell folks where to find you, what you're up to next, where you might be touring next, and all that?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This was a lot of fun, and if I can come back on again sometime in the future, it'd be great. But especially if you're on a losing streak in trivia, just put me back on.
Perfect.
But yeah, I do need to jet. But yeah, DannyJohnson.com is probably the easiest. That's my website, and it has all my links to my 2 specials, my social media handles, which are all Danny Johnson Comedy, or at Danny Johnson Comedy. I think people really like the special. You can watch it in front of anyone. It's not geared towards kids, but it's clean, so you can watch it whenever. And there it is. Look at this handsome fella in a suit.
Heck
on the
yeah.
front page.
Heck yeah.
looking inquisitively with his. That's a guy who's supposed to be good at trivia, right there. But yeah, check it out, and yeah, all my links are down there. I had a podcast for a while, and I'll probably rekindle it. The links are all down there. So yeah, thanks for having me on, and this was fun. This was, when you hear a podcast is a couple hours, you're like, wow, that's a lot. But this went by like it was 30 minutes. So that means it was a lot of fun for me. So I appreciate it.
You have awesome. show dates or tour dates coming up you want to?
Yeah, if you go to the website and then my social media, there'll be links to it. So I'm doing a couple dates in South Florida.
Okay.
And then I head up to South Carolina for a little bit. So I'll be around. Come check me out live.
When's the next time you're coming to Montana?
I wish when I did Montana, it was for the Future Farmers of America.
Oh, wow.
Organization, and so get this, and at the risk of keeping your podcast longer, the charity, it was a charity event, silent auction, but one of the organizers of the charity event owns a cattle farm, and the prime rib were literally from his farm to the butchery that day to the place, the venue, and they cooked them up. It was literally farm to table.
Wow, it's cow to table.
And it was butter. It was like buttery meat. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to go on stage. And it was a lot of fun. But yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Heck yeah. Yeah. To end our show, we generally watch a couple funny videos. If you need to duck out, that's no big deal. We'll be on for another 10 minutes or so. But other than that, awesome. Danny, it was an absolute pleasure. If you have any big tours or anything coming up or another special, please hit us up and we'd be happy to have you back on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Have a great one.
You too. We'll see you later. All right, y'all. Per usual, we're going to end the show with a few funny videos. Before we do that, go on over to peacefulseed.network. Check out all our other podcasts, our other shows, documentaries. We got a bunch of stuff coming out soon. I'm so close to being done converting the whole website to a Bitcoin standard. So stay tuned for that. It should happen in the next couple of months. It's a long process to do that. So looking forward to that. You'll be able to have your subscriptions in Bitcoin. You'll be able to pay up through the website with Bitcoin. You'll be able to pay with other crypto as well, but we pretty much just want Bitcoin. So yeah, go check all that out. And over the next few months, Brad Binkley will be back guest hosting at least 4 or 5 more times. So if you enjoyed last week, make sure you tune into those episodes because that was a fun episode. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it after the fact. So, all right, y'all, let's watch some funny videos and get the heck out of here. First up, we've shown this guy on his podcast many times in the comedy section. There you go.
A podcast that you do. What would you say it is?
I guess like halfway between bro science and bro philosophy.
Right.
Traditional media is leaning a little bit away from the typical topics that men would want to talk about. Aliens, conspiracy theories, health, fitness, stuff like that. It's not a
performance. Lots of podcasts that are about optimizing your day, fitness,
mindsets, inner growth, men, male rights, men, big, muscly men, boys, men. Boys, oiled up young boys. Men, young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, get yourself on the ground. We're okay, guys. That's why we go to the gym. There's no need to be unhappy. Women are stinky.
Do you... The type of
if you don't follow Finn Taylor, he does some of the best interviews out there. They're all comedic interviews. He's done. People come on his show that should have no business being there, but he makes it great. Some very serious people come on his show, and he makes it hilarious. So, yeah, Finn Taylor comedy. He's great.
If you could let it go, and I wouldn't catch you up on somebody else. I like my bitch, red bone.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you relate to that, but I relate to that heavily. Some of you worry about if your wife is cheating. I worry about if mine has eaten or not. I don't want her to be mean to me. That's a regular occurrence in our relationship. All right, 2 more. This guy, here you go.
Suitcase shoes, so you never have to pay airline baggage fees again. Because the last time I got on a plane, I got charged more than my flight for my bag being too big. So when I got home and found these 2 old suitcases in my closet, I had an idea. There's an airline loophole that says items of clothing worn by the passenger are exempt from weight and dimension restrictions. So I set to work, removing the wheels and the lining of the suitcase. I also found these rather fetching boxing shoes that looked like they were purpose-built for my plan. After marking out the size, I began making a hole in the top of my suitcase. After a little bit of sanding, it was time for the final stage. I applied some heavy-duty adhesive to the suitcase and the bottom of the shoes and made sure they were stuck down really well. After packing the shoes full of essentials, it was time to see if they actually worked.
Now it's time to board my flight, but will the airline let me on board with them?
I invented suitcase shoes, so you never have to pay.
Dude,
okay, wait. I need to know if it worked.
The shoe takes up so much of the suitcase that you can hardly fit anything else in there.
Okay, but I need to know if it worked. Can you play the next one in this series and tell me if it worked?
Let's see if it is in here. There we go. There's no video of it. It's just photos of it.
Oh, come on.
It looks like he boarded the plane, though. It's impressive. And Zane, why you got to be a naysayer, man? That's awesome. All right.
I'm not naysaying. I'm just offering my feedback on his idea.
I'm invested in knowing if it worked.
I think it looks like it worked. I don't think it's very convenient, and I think whoever you're sitting next to would be super annoyed because it's going to take up a ton of floor space compared to normal shoes. You'd have to take one shoe off and stuff it under the seat in front of you, and then just have one shoe on the whole time.
Then be that person with your shoe off that no one likes.
All right, final video of the evening, and then we'll head out.
MC, make another hit.
I don't even know which set is form. It's form.
If you've ever done Bulgarian split squats, that one rings true.
I'm gonna have to do that on my next leg day.
If not, then that one doesn't ring true at all, and you don't understand what we're talking about. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode. Danny was fantastic. Great guest. I highly recommend y'all go check out his specials. The dude is funny. The dude is really good. They're both on YouTube. Go to DannyJohnson.com to check it out. And I particularly loved his whole description of the masseuse and his first time getting a massage. I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was listening to that last night, and when I was watching it, I went, I've never done a massage. You know what always hurts? My back. And so I started Googling massage places near me to see.
Honestly, highly recommend. Massage Envy is a good place to start. They don't have the best masseuses or masseurs or whatever it is. Masai, whatever you want to call them.
Massage Envy. I think there's one right by me.
You can do a subscription service with them. It's like $60 a month, and you can get one massage a month, and it's not bad. And every now and then you'll come across somebody who's really good, and then you can just recommend them or request them every time.
There's 7 minutes from me.
Heck yeah. Yeah. My wife used to have a membership there. It's great. Massages are great, and they're good for you too. So, Zane. Zane's running for office. Go to voteplacie.com. We just did a whole episode on the Free Georgia podcast about what he's running for. So go check that out over on the website or on Rumble, Free Georgia Podcast. What else? Zane, you got anything else before we head out?
No.
Sweet. Go watch the Super Bowl because Zane's.
They do not need any. They do not need any more free ad. Of all the things that you've ever plugged on this show, I can't think of anything that needs less plugs.
I was referring to your plugging the Super Bowl throughout the entirety of trivia. You plugged
that was just me having topical categories.
Well, either which way, go Seahawks.
Potatoes, Super Bowl. You know,
because no one wants to see the Patriots win again. They're not allowed to be good again.
I love the two quarterbacks though, Darnold and May. I'm a huge fan. If either one wins, when one of them wins, I'll be happy for him because that's pretty awesome. Darnold has been thrown around to like 5 different teams. He's never been held in like high regard, and that dude is a great quarterback. So,
well, as they say, this is the longest that Sam Darnold has ever made it into a season before going pumpkin mode.
No, he is going to win, and we are not going to let New England get the most Super Bowls.
I just don't like the Seahawks. Oh, that's your motivation. You just don't want to surpass the Steelers. I got it.
I do also have family out near Seattle, but that's
I don't like Seattle, and I don't really like New England either. So I'm kind of hoping for just no one to win. Can we end in a tie?
That is what I was rooting for several years ago when it was. I can't remember who it was, but
probably two.
It was probably like the Ravens and probably like the 49ers or something.
Yeah. Oh, the Harbaugh Bowl. Yeah. That was the one where like the power went out for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that was a wild one. All right, y'all. That'll do it for tonight. Tune in next week for more Liberty Libations. Peace.
Crew and let's us